Welcome to another countdown video, everyone. Since Angry Birds has hit its 50th anniversary this year, I thought it would be a great idea to make a video on my favorite Angry Birds characters. But before I get into the list though, I'm going to give out a brief history of Angry Birds. Angry Birds is a mobile game created by Rovio Entertainment in 2009, and it involves slingshotting multicolored birds into structures trying to pop the pigs that stole the birds' eggs. Because Angry Birds was extremely popular, it has gained tons of sequels, merchandise, movies, and even TV shows. I was a huge Angry Birds fan when I was a kid because it was so fun to play with, yet it was challenging. I even collected forms of Angry Birds merchandise like plush toys and some sets, which I still have the plush toys by the way. Though it sucks that most of the original apps I used to play with were removed from the App Store and Google Play Store. This shows you that Angry Birds has changed a lot throughout the years. But at least the classic Angry Birds game, which is now known as Red's First Flight, is still on the App Store. Now with that out of the way, I'm going to get on the list of my favorite Angry Birds characters. Number 5 is King Pig. Also known as Smooth Cheeks, King Pig is the main antagonist of the Angry Birds series. He inherited the throne from his father, known as Leonard, who you might have seen in the Angry Birds movie. King Pig wants to get the eggs from the birds so that he can improve his regime, but the birds always know how to protect them. I think King Pig can be quite funny, especially in Angry Birds tunes, where he sometimes acts mean and childish, though there are some annoying moments with him. He's also not very intelligent and does not know how to solve the simplest problems. Some of the funny moments I have with him was where he gets scared of the smallest things, like that dog toy from the episode Dogzilla, which is a play on the word Godzilla. The reason why I put him on the bottom spot though is because I'm more into some bird characters, which I'll get to in a bit. But still, I like the pig characters, so why not include one of them on the list? Number 4 is a tie between Red, Chuck, and Bomb. These are the three main characters of the entire Angry Birds franchise. Red is an extremely short-tempered bird and is not above using violence when someone makes him mad. Did you know that Red was originally going to be named George at one point? As for Chuck, he's a speedy yellow bird who is the equivalent of a child, if you ask me. As he hardly pays attention, he is self-centered, and sometimes his mischief gets him into trouble. As for Bomb, he is a kind and gentle bird who is known to explode things, hence his name. I like all three characters mainly because of the fact that they are iconic and among the main heroes of the franchise. They are also childhood icons when it comes to video game characters. Red does not have any ability in the original Angry Birds, but in Angry Birds 2, he has a shockwave ability. He is probably the weakest of all the birds, but that doesn't stop him from using his strength to knock over towers. Chuck on the other side is stronger than Red, because he has the ability to break wood easily and reach high places that no other bird could reach. And on the further side is Bomb. His ability is much more destructive, and you know what he does. Bomb is quite powerful when I use him in Angry Birds, though sometimes he kind of slows down a bit, and when he explodes in some tough areas where there's like lots of stone, he doesn't do that much damage at all. But still, I think Bomb is very useful for destroying buildings, and that's why I think Red, Chuck, and Bomb are great characters from Angry Birds. Number 3 is Stella. When it comes to female bird characters, Stella would have to be my most favorite. Stella is a pink bird who prefers to be left alone and enjoys freedom. She first appeared in Angry Birds Seasons Back to School, where she was young and had a cunning personality where she fools the pigs into trying to get the eggs of the birds. Now she is more mature and likes a lot of things, from bubble blowing to parkour to skateboarding to even hang gliding. I think Stella is very cute, from her voice to her looks, and she also likes doing lots of fun adventurous things just like I do in real life. And those are what makes Stella a great character. Did you know that Stella, along with the other Angry Birds characters, are based on real-life bird species? In her case, Stella is based on a bird called a galah, or an Australian pink cockatoo, which I find these birds pretty. Number 2 is a tie between Bubbles and Hal. These two flock members are an underrated duo, and deserve more attention than what they got. In the classic games, Hal has the ability to destroy wood, but not only this, Like his nickname, the boomerang bird, he can spin backwards like a boomerang by opening his beak at a wide angle and can attack pigs from behind. Bubbles, on the other hand, is a fearless orange bird who likes candy and has the ability to inflate himself to destroy structures. The reason why I put them at number 2 is because for Hal, I loved his spinning action whenever I launched him. I also like his design, mainly because of that long beak. In case you're wondering, Hal is based on an emerald toucanet from Central America. Man, if only I had that Zoomerang toy. As for Bubbles, he is very cute because of his voice, and I think his actor did a great job voicing him. He can be quite powerful at times, especially when he destroys some buildings after inflating himself. I never really got a chance to get this version of Bubbles when I was a kid, but at least I still have the normal plush version of Bubbles, you know, the classic design. Before I get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. The Blues. While I still like these characters because they're cute and they work as a trio, I just didn't have time to put them on a spot on this list. Matilda. I do like her caring side, but she can also be quite short-tempered, especially when she's oversensitive. But still, I like this character. Silver. Well, similar reasons as with the Blues and Matilda, but she deserves a mention nonetheless. And number 1 is a tie between Terrence and the Mighty Eagle. The reasons why I put these birds at the number 1 spot is because they're the most powerful birds. Terrence is a mostly silent guy who barely interacts with others because he prefers a quiet life. He also shows very little facial expressions, which explains why he looks constantly like this. In many Angry Birds games, Terrence does not have an ability, but he is capable of destroying wood, stone, and glass, making him one tough guy. I liked to do his facial expressions a lot when I was a kid, especially as a joke to friends. I also like some of his most mysterious moments, like in the Toons episode Run Chuck Run, where he somehow beats Chuck in a race by teleporting to various places, which annoys the yellow bird. As for Mighty Eagle, he is a very wise and powerful bird who lives in a cave. The birds were once very afraid of him, but they soon respected him, and the eagle helps the birds to stop the pigs. He's also a great storyteller to the birds. To summon the eagle, you have to launch a can of sardines from the slingshot, and when it hits something, the mighty eagle will come swooping down and cause massive destruction, destroying anything in its path, including pigs, as well as causing a huge earthquake which can destroy remaining pigs. So all in all, I think Terrence and Mighty Eagle are powerful birds, and possibly the best characters in the franchise. Let me know down below on what your favorite Angry Birds characters are. Do you agree with my list, or is yours different from mine? Also, I can't wait for the third Angry Birds movie to release in theaters in 2026. And with that said, happy 15th anniversary to Angry Birds. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. This is ZESG54 Studios, signing off and saying thanks for watching. This has been a production of